Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Andrew, and we are the IB English guys. Folks, today we have a really important video that we think is going to help you for your Paper 1, your Paper 2, your HLE, and any other writing you do in university or adult life.
Wow.
Mr. Giles, what is the topic?
We're going to talk about topic sentences of our body paragraphs and how we want to link those topic sentences to our thesis statement.
That's really important, Mr. Giles. Linking those topic sentences to the thesis not only establishes focus and coherence and unity for criterion C, but it also helps your reader follow your argument throughout your paper.
Yeah, we want the reader to anticipate the topics of the body paragraph as we're reading. That's so important. Again, that's going to establish what this paragraph's about.
And students, we would like to say that when you don't have a strong topic sentence in your body paragraphs, the examiners or other readers really are confused about what the direction of your paragraph is and what point you're trying to articulate. So we highly recommend linking all topic sentences to the thesis. So we're going to show you how to do that today.
Okay, great. And to do this, we're going to look at a speech that we've written about before by Malcolm X. Such a powerful speech where he's reflecting on what happened to him personally, and he's trying to provoke his audience to take some actions against racial injustice during the civil rights era.
Now, folks, if you want to know more about this speech and see the annotation, the close reading, and the writing, this is on our Countdown to Paper 1 playlist. And you can go ahead and see that link here, and you can go and watch that video in its entirety. But today we really want to just zero in on that thesis and on those rich topic sentences. Let's take a stab at it, Giles.
Okay, so here is the thesis statement for this particular text. And again, we're thinking about the use of rhetoric. This was the guiding question that the student was asked: is how does the writer use the tools of rhetoric to communicate a message? Okay, so here is the thesis. Through the clever use of rhetoric, Malcolm X gains trust from his audience, leverages emotion, and provokes action against racial injustice. Thus, he encourages a contrasting form of protest to the status quo.
Mr. Giles, is this a thesis statement?
It is an argument.
Mr. Giles, it's 2 sentences. Is that okay?
That's okay. Again, one sentence is going to be really clunky and too long, so the student tried to break it up.
Students, it's okay to write 2 sentences for your thesis. This is something we see frequently. It's better to be grammatically correct than to be clunky. Giles, what are the rich ideas, and how many rich ideas do you see in this thesis?
I see 4 rich ideas. We're thinking about, again, how they gain trust from the audience, how they really are using emotions, and again, provoking action.
Yeah, and because if you're familiar with the context, Martin Luther King Jr. is advocating nonviolence at this time. Malcolm X, on the other hand, is looking at taking up arms and defending themselves against the oppression they face. So this is a very different message to the status quo of the civil rights movement.
Yeah, and I can see that rhetorical triangle coming through. We're thinking about emotions and trust, and so I can see those things taking shape. And again, this is a good start to a good paper.
Now, folks, from the examiner perspective, when Mr. Giles and I see a thesis statement like this, we're actually trying to anticipate the topic of the body paragraph. So, Giles, talk about what you would expect to see in the paper based on this thesis.
Well, again, this thesis is listing out the topics, and again, this is one strategy that some students use. So I know that the first body paragraph should be talking about how they gain trust from the audience.
Yeah, I'm thinking the next body paragraph has to look at emotion, the next body paragraph has to look at action, and then the end of the paper is going to have to do some sort of discussion about how this is different than Martin Luther King Jr., correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Let's take a look at the topic sentences the student wrote, and let's test and see how they did. What do you say?
Okay, so the first body paragraph is as follows. Malcolm X begins his speech by establishing ethos to demonstrate to the audience that he, just like all blacks, has suffered at the hand of their white oppressors.
Okay, now for me, Mr. Giles, I see the word ethos, and that clearly links back to the thesis. What's the key word in the thesis that we're linking to?
Gaining trust.
Gaining trust. There it is, right? So I think that idea of, he has suffered just like all other people in his community have suffered. I think that also helps gain trust. I think the yellow clearly matches to the yellow. That is a clear and focused link.
Yeah, again, if you want to read the rest of the body paragraph, definitely open the link below. The handout has the rest of the body paragraph. The next body paragraph, topic sentence. Remember, we're talking about topic sentences here. This is the start of a bigger paragraph. Reads as follows. Once his status is elevated and trust is established, Malcolm X implements a variety of language choices to evoke pathos in his audience, particularly emotions of anger, shame, and defiance.
All right, the student's done well again, Mr. Giles. We see the language of the guiding question, that we have to focus on rhetoric, so the student picked up that idea of pathos, and then they talked about emotions of anger, shame, and defiance. Now, Mr. Giles, in the thesis, we saw the word emotion. Now, in the topic sentence of the body paragraph, we see emotions. The thesis and the topic sentence are closely linked together. This paper is focused.
Yeah, and I like they're actually identifying the emotions in the topic sentence. That's nice. And I think one other thing I'd like to mention is that we've got that really nice transition. Once the status is elevated and trust is established, that's a critical transition.
Well, Mr. Giles, that's the idea from the preceding paragraph linking into the next paragraph.
Yeah.
That's clever, but that's a topic for another video.
That's right. Okay, so the next body paragraph, it reads as follows. This is the topic sentence. Once emotion is stirred, Malcolm X employs a clear and logical example to support the notion that blacks must take action and defend themselves.
Yeah, once again, we see an element of rhetoric, logical example, that's connecting to logos, and we actually see the phrase take action. And that is the same phrase that was used in the thesis, Mr. Giles. So once again, the body paragraph, topic sentence, and the thesis are closely linked together, focused, and coherent.
Yep, that's right. Last body paragraph, topic sentence reads as follows. Towards the end of the speech, the audience is forced again to rethink the logic of King and others who subscribe to nonviolence and consider the appropriateness of their call to action.
Okay, now we're kind of combining ideas. We're bringing in Martin Luther King Jr. We're tapping back into that notion of contrasting form of protest to the status quo. That was the language from the thesis. So when we look at this topic sentence, it's rethinking the logic of King. Once again, logic going to logos. The logic of King is the opposite of the status quo, and we're linking those two together. Mr. Giles, we do have one more paragraph.
Okay. Finally, the piece ends with some ominous foreshadowing as Malcolm X concludes his logical argument by implying that blacks must prepare themselves for upcoming violence.
What's the link, Giles?
We're thinking about, again, like the ending of the text and that how that's linking to something important, and we're really thinking about how this speech concludes, which makes sense that the student is concluding with that.
Yeah, folks, we do have some simple recommendations, some questions you can ask yourself to make sure that your topic sentences are unified and are linked. Question 1, Giles, take it away.
Yeah, is there a rich idea in my thesis statement that can I attach my topic sentence to?
To what extent are those rich ideas from my thesis integrated into my topic sentences of the body paragraphs?
How much is the main argument from my thesis statement woven throughout the body paragraph, not just mentioned in my topic sentence?
And lastly, if you were to go back and highlight your paper like we've done today, can you see those explicit links between the thesis and the topic sentences? If you can see those links, criterion C is under control, you are focused, your paper is likely unified. Folks, in the end, we hope this video shows you the importance of topic sentences and the importance of linking them to the thesis. We believe this is a really important part of the paper. We believe many examiners are looking for this, and we want you to be successful in your IB writing. Thanks for watching, stay with the channel, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.